One of the seven wonders of the world is a 10,000-year-old city hidden in the desert, and in real life, it's more incredible than you can imagine. Petra is an ancient city that lies in present-day Jordan and dates back to the 4th century BC. Ruins of the once great metropolis and trading center now serve as an important archaeological site and tourist attraction. Petra is located about 150 miles south of both Jerusalem and Amman, the capital of Jordan, and about midway between Damascus, Syria, and the Red Sea, making it ideally suited as a hub of commerce in the area. The site is considered significant by historians and archaeologists alike because of its beautiful rock-out architecture and innovative water management system, the latter of which was made the region inhabitable, given that it is surrounded by desert and rugged mountainous terrain. Petra has also been referred to as the Rose City because of the color of the stones used in its buildings. It was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985. Before we get into more details about this mysterious city, we have a bonus fact towards the end of the video, so stay tuned. With that being said, let's get into it. Number 1. City of Petra. The city of Petra was established as a trading post by the Nabateans, an Arab Bedouin tribe indigenous to the region in what is now southwestern Jordan. The Nabateans living and trading in Petra soon accumulated a significant amount of wealth, and an envious Greek empire attacked the city in 312 BC. This event marks the first reference to Petra in recorded history. The Nabateans successfully fought back the Greek invaders by taking advantage of the mountainous terrain surrounding the city. The mountains effectively served as a natural wall, buttressing Petra. However, the Greek incursion was not the last time the city would come under attack. In fact, the Romans would invade Petra in 106 AD and ultimately forced the Nabateans to surrender. The Roman Empire annexed the newly gained territory and changed its name to Arabia Petraea. They continued to rule over the city for more than 250 years until the middle of the 4th century AD, when an earthquake destroyed many of its buildings. The Byzantines eventually took control of the region and governed Petra for some 300 years. Number 2. Lost City of Petra. By the beginning of the 8th century AD, Petra was largely abandoned and no longer a significant location commercially, politically, and/or culturally. Although no longer an important city, Petra has been noted by historians and archaeologists for its unique architecture, as well as a specific innovation made by the Nabatean Bedouins that established the city. Given the rugged mountainous terrain that surrounds it, Petra wouldn't seem like a logical place to build a city. However, the Nabateans took advantage of this geography as they erected its key structures. Using an early form of the technique known as rock-out architecture, the Nabateans literally carved several of the city's buildings out of the surrounding stone surfaces. As the Nabatean culture evolved, and as the Romans and the Byzantines later sought to leave their own marks on the city, the architecture of Petra began to take on a mix of the different cultures that occupied it. Large and ornate tombs built by the Nabateans eventually gave way to Christian churches constructed by the Byzantines, who considered Petra the capital of the province of Palestina. During this evolution, while the Romans ruled the city after the Nabateans and before the Byzantines, the Petra-Roman road was built. This served as the main thoroughfare of Petra, and ornate gates were built in Roman style to mark the entrance to the city. However, the Nabateans' influence over the city's design and structure was not completely eliminated by its subsequent rulers. Number 3. Water harvesting. As desert dwellers, the Nabateans had long struggled during season in which rainfall in the region was limited. When the tribe built Petra, though, they developed a unique system of conduits, dams, and cisterns to harvest, store, and distribute rainwater for year-round use. At certain times of year, the area around the city was prone to flooding. However, the Nabateans were able to effectively control these floods using dams and therefore the city's water supply. This meant that they could reside in the city even during periods of drought. It also improved the crop yields of Nabatean farmers. Number 4. Petra today. After the 8th century, when Petra was largely abandoned as a trading center, its stone structures were used for shelter by nomadic shepherds for several centuries. Then, in 1812, the unique ruins of Petra were discovered by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt. He described the ruins of the once great city in chronicles of his travels. With the Western world now aware of their existence, they soon attracted the interest of architects and scholars, among others. Starting in 1929, British archaeologists Agnes Conway and George Horsfield, as well as scholars Taufik Kanan and Ditlev Nielsen, launched a formal project to excavate and survey Petra. Numerous findings have been made in the decades since, including the 1993 discovery of Greek scrolls during the Byzantine period, as well as the more recent documentaries via satellite, imaging of a previously unknown monumental structure buried beneath the sands of the area. When Petra was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985, Petra Bedouin tribespeople who had made homes for themselves within the city's remaining ruins were forcibly relocated by the Jordanian government. In the early 2000s, the site was named one of the 7 new wonders of the world, leading to a spike in tourism. Since then, efforts have been made to protect the ruins of Petra from heavy tourism, as well as damage from floods, rain, and other environmental factors. Number 5. Facts and fiction. Several scenes from the Hollywood blockbuster Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade were filmed in Petra. The movie's fictional canyon of the Crescent Moon was modeled on the eastern entrance to Petra, a 250-foot-high sandstone slot canyon known as the Sick that leads directly to Al-Khazne, or the Treasury, perhaps the most stunning of Petra's dozens of breathtaking features. In the film's climactic final scenes, actors Harrison Ford and Sean Connery burst forth from the Sick and walk deep into the labyrinths of the Treasury in their quest to find the Holy Grail. But as usual, archaeological fact bowed to Hollywood fiction when Indy came to Petra. In reality, the Treasury is nothing more than a facade with a relatively small hall once used as a royal tomb. You can't really say that anything in Indiana Jones is accurate. Haifa University archaeologist Rami Rich said, "I was once asked in the United States if one of the responsibilities of Israeli archaeologists is to chase down Nazis. I told them, not anymore." A giant urn carved above the entrance to the treasury bears the marks of hundreds of gunshots. Bedouin tribesmen living in and among the ancient ruins say the damage was caused when local men would open fire with rifles, seeking the loot thought to be inside the urn, which is actually made of solid stone. Number 6. Issues. The site suffers from a host of threats, including collapse of ancient structures, erosion from flooding and improper rainwater damage, weathering from salt upwelling, improper restoration of ancient structures, and unsustainable tourism. The last has increased substantially, especially since the site received widespread media coverage in 2007 during the new 7 Wonders of the World Internet and Cell Phone campaign. In an attempt to reduce the impact of these threats, the Petra National Trust (PNT) was established in 1989. It has worked with numerous local and international organizations on projects that promote the protection, conservation, and preservation of the Petra site. Moreover, UNESCO and ICOMOS recently collaborated to publish their first book on human and natural threats to the sensitive World Heritage Sites. We appreciate you staying with us this far and would like to thank you before getting into the bonus fact. The entrance to the city of Petra is by a narrow passage cut through the sandstone as a result of years of rain and wind. This passage is known as the Sick, which simply means gorge. What do you think of the Rose City? Comment down below and let us know if you would be interested in visiting the famous city where Indiana Jones was filmed. If you enjoyed the content, uplift the channel by hitting like, subscribe, and ring the YouTube bell to meet us again in the next video. Until next time.